Well, the FBI responding to these attacks, announcing Monday they have established a task force to crack down on them against Teslas. FBI Director Kash Patel calling the attacks domestic terrorism. Joining us now is former CIA officer and FBI Special Agent Tracy Walder. Tracy, really looking forward to your perspective here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Kelly.
So we are talking massive coordination, even in the days ahead in other countries as well. How is law enforcement strategizing, and how do you believe they'll respond to some of these planned attacks?
I think the biggest thing right now is intelligence gathering, right? That is going to tell them where these are planned and which ones may involve some kind of form of violence. Because again, not all of them do. Some are peaceful protests. So the biggest thing for law enforcement right now, both at the federal level, at the state level, and then obviously at different countries, their federal law enforcements as well, is really going to be gathering that intelligence from all different kinds of communications platforms that individuals are using.
Yeah, and taking that one step further, when we talk about consequences, I think intel will be a big part of finding these organizers, attackers, as you said. They can be hard to track. How might agencies like the FBI start the process or maybe even get ahead of them? And what do you think those consequences will look like?
I think it's really good, quite frankly, that the FBI has developed this task force. They bring more resources to the local levels and are also able to process that intelligence, particularly digital intelligence through phone, social media, all of those things very, very quickly. Once they identify a potential target, someone who may be wanting to engage in violence, that individual may be put under surveillance by whatever the local law enforcement is at that point. Once they gather enough evidence, they may issue arrest warrants for some of these individuals before they appear at these rallies and at these protests. So, in my opinion, that is a great thing. Now, in terms of consequences, I know that the president has been discussing domestic terrorism and that they are domestic terrorists. I actually agree with that classification by definition, but the problem is we do not have a federal domestic terrorism statute. So we cannot prosecute them at a federal level with domestic terrorism. Now, some states do, and they will, but at a federal level, most of them are looking at weapons charges and those types of things. So I think that's actually a real problem.
Yeah, really important insights there. Tracy, thank you. For Tesla owners and these showrooms, we're looking at these images. I mean, these are incredibly aggressive strategies. How do you believe they best prepare for what may be about to take place?
I think for Tesla owners, like my own husband has had a Tesla for 4 years, isn't selling it anytime soon. There's kind of two big things that we have been doing. The first one is that he keeps it in Sentry mode, which I know does drain the battery quickly. Tesla's working on a fix for that, but it is recording any suspicious activity. And then he goes through that before he starts his vehicle and then kind of begins on his journey to and from work. The other thing we're doing is we are not keeping our dogs in the vehicle on dog mode just because some of them have been the targets of some pretty violent attacks. We don't want anything to happen to them. And then as a family, we are not taking his Tesla. We are taking my car instead. So I think those are just basic things. In terms of dealerships, obviously a lot of them have kind of stepped up private security if not local law enforcement is coming there as well. But I am assuming that some of these dealerships also have private security. And we all know that a lot of these Tesla vehicles have cameras that are running 24/7.
Yeah, really great advice. Tracy Walder, thank you so much for joining us for this one.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.